Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are now at 352 subscribers. Can we get to 500 subscribers by election day? Please like this video and subscribe to the channel so that we can get there. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website that is also linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to be talking about the so-called nightmare scenario again. Now, I've made a couple videos about this before, but basically, the nightmare scenario, there's a couple of nightmare scenarios for how this election could go, especially depending on what side you're on, but one that is pretty objective is the scenario of a 269-269 tie. Now, obviously, there are 538 electoral votes, 435 for each congressional seat, plus 100 for the Senate seats, plus 3 for Washington, D.C., so there's 538, meaning that you can have a 269-269 tie. But what are the two most likely scenarios for that to happen, and how would that play out? Who would end up being president? So, there's two main scenarios that I'm going to be going through here in this video. Now, both of these scenarios I do believe are quite realistic, and some of them are actually more realistic than what we originally would have thought. And the first one I'm going to be going through is with this combination. So these are all the safe, likely, and lean states, but then filling in, I guess, Florida's blank, but I'll just fill that in as tilt. Florida's going to be a tilt state. Georgia is going to be a tilt state. North Carolina is going to be a tilt state, all to the Republicans. And in this scenario, the state of Pennsylvania is also going to be tilt to the Republicans. Donald Trump's actually gotten some good polls out of the state of Pennsylvania, and the voter registration numbers have been very good for them. And the whole thing with like the naked ballots, with all the mail-in ballots being rejected, which are overwhelmingly Democrat, that could possibly hurt Democrats there. So in that scenario, that would be tilt Republican. Also, Nebraska's 2nd district, which will be very important in the second scenario. In this scenario, is going to the Republicans by a tilt margin. You know, it is very suburban, but it also has some exurban areas that could help Republicans. But I do think as of now, they may lose this, but really it could go either way. And then you can see here, Donald Trump and Mike Pence are at 269. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would win Arizona and Wisconsin and the state of Michigan. Let's just fix the state of Minnesota there. So in this scenario, Democrats would kind of pick off two things. They'd pick off that Rust Belt path and the Sun Belt path. So they'd win Arizona, and they'd have to win Maricopa County and, win it by a lot, or not even that much, only by a couple points, and then they'd probably flip the state. It is the biggest county. It is basically the Republican stronghold. It's where they get most of their votes. But that could easily flip to the Democrats in this scenario, which would make the state also flip to the Democrats. Also, Michigan and Wisconsin. Before a couple months ago, I would have said that Wisconsin flipping before Pennsylvania would be kind of weird. But based on some of the polls we're seeing and some of the other trends we're seeing, it actually very well could happen. And, these scenarios by themselves have a small chance of happening, but when you look at the chance of Michigan going blue and Wisconsin going blue, sure, that could happen. Pennsylvania could also go red. All these other states could also go red, and Arizona could flip blue. So in that scenario, it would be 269 to 269. We'll talk about what happens after in a second. Many of you might know, but I will be going through that. Then the next scenario I have is, let's just make all of these states toss-ups. It's not going to include any of these states down south, so we can again put Florida at tilt, Georgia at tilt red, North Carolina at tilt red. In this scenario, you would also put the state of Arizona red, flipping from last time it would be blue, last time it would be red in this scenario. Also making the state of Wisconsin red in this scenario. That could easily happen too. Democrats are not having trends in favor of them overall there. If they can get turnout in Milwaukee and Madison up enough, sure, they can win the state, but Trump could win it as well. And then the states Joe Biden would win, you could see Donald Trump again and Mike Pence are at 269 electoral votes. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are at 232, which is actually what Hillary's number was. And they would be winning the states of Michigan, the states of Pennsylvania, and Nebraska's 2nd district. This would also get them to 269. I could probably see this as maybe a little bit more likely, probably around the same, to be honest, especially out of some of the new things we've been seeing out of the state of Pennsylvania. But Joe Biden also does some advantages in Pennsylvania. He has connections in this state. He's doing very well in the polls still, although some have been that great for them. But I still do believe, at least for now, he's ahead in this state. But in a scenario where also flips Michigan and not Wisconsin, which is kind of what it looked like could happen earlier, as well as Nebraska's 2nd district, which I talked about before, is a very suburban district, has a lot of college-educated white voters, 9% more than the second most of any swing state at 39%, Pennsylvania's 2nd at 30%, but Nebraska's 2nd district is kind of the heart of those trends. It trended 5 points blue in 2016, and I do believe that it is going to continue to trend blue, and I do believe Democrats will be able to win Nebraska's 2nd district, which in this scenario makes it a 269-269 tie. If you give Nebraska's 2nd district to Trump, he's going to get 270 electoral votes. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris to 268. But if you give it to Joe Biden, he would get to 269-269. And then it goes to the House of Representatives. Now, this is what the House of Representatives would look like. It's 1 vote per delegation, which is a kind of a quirky rule, but that is the way it works. Democrats have 23 delegations, Republicans have 26, and then one of them is tied. So another one that is probably going to be tied after this election is the state of Michigan, due to the fact that Justin Amash is a libertarian, and when he does retire after this year, he's most likely going to be replaced by a Republican, which will make it 26 Republicans and 22 Democrats. Really, the only chance for Democrats winning is winning Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida, although there's not really a path in Florida. And the next 2 would probably be Texas, to be honest. I mean, they'd have to flip a bunch of seats. I guess it's theoretically possible. I don't know if it would actually happen. But if they did flip Pennsylvania and Florida and Michigan, they would be at 25. And in that scenario, it gets very interesting. I'm not actually sure what would happen in that scenario. It's never really happened where we've had 50 states before. And then the vice president would be tied in the Senate. And I do believe in this scenario, Democrats could easily get 50 seats. You would have a tie in the Senate, a tie in the House in this scenario, although I do think the House delegations are most likely 95% chance going to stay with the Republicans, but it is a possibility. It is a fun possibility to think about. The Senate would also be very interesting, especially if it was a tie, because if it was a tie, Mike Pence would also break the tie, so he'd vote himself in as vice president. But there'd also be an interesting situation if Democrats got 51 seats. They would vote in Kamala Harris as vice president with Donald Trump as the president. So many different weird scenarios that could go on here. And again, while I probably don't think this is going to happen, I do think it's certainly a possibility. So people should definitely be watching out for it. I do believe it is a nightmare scenario because it's just going to cause even more divide within the country, because Joe Biden in this scenario would most likely win the popular vote. That would cause a lot of other controversy, things like that. So it gets very interesting, gets very complicated, could take a turn for the worse, but that is what it shows anyway. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website that is linked down in the description, which I do, again, update every single day. So again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.